Alright everyone, we are back with another off-season war. Today I will be taking in Immortal Abomination, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Silver Centurion, and I make some bad choices. I take Path 9 in Section 1 and Path 3 in Section 2, and I do end up taking a mini-boss on Boss Island. Alright, so this first fight here should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to use Cosmic Boosts just so that I can get a real feel for Cosmic Ghost Rider because he is somewhat new for me in War. So it's just getting practice in for the rotation to SB2 and then Power Back Boosts putting us right back at another SB2. My Cosmic Ghost Rider is unduped, so the benefit of the Fate Seal on the Damnation is not there, along with the heal block, obviously. So we just have the power lock. But ideally, the rotation you want to kind of stick with is parry heavy, parry medium, light, 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 light combo, and then parry medium, light, 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 medium into an SB2. So it'd be the heavy judgment, power gain judgment, and the vigilant judgment. And that usually finishes and puts you right at SB2, but you'll see here I missed a few blocks and the timing pushed us into the poison phase and we took a bunch of poison damage. But I managed to get him down before I die from poison. So ideally, if you're quick enough and the AI is aggressive enough, you'll be able to get that full rotation in during the incinerate phase, which he's immune to. All right, this next one I didn't think all the way through. Should not have taken this with Cosmic Ghost Rider for several reasons. 1, Mystic Dispersion. 2, Power Back Boosts don't work with a class disadvantage. And 3, this node has Feats of Indestructible now instead of the resistance buildup. And since I don't have a duped Cosmic Ghost Rider, I have to wait that buff out before deciding to throw my SB2 right there where it should have been thrown. Which that's going to push me into poison. Luckily, no poison. Well, 1 poison. And then I thought I was out of range of that SP2 and just didn't even block it. So any hope of saving this was gone probably right there. Now it'd be tough. And we just didn't play it well. So it was a bad matchup. Probably could have saved it, but poor play led to a stupid death. So I decided to go in with Immortal Abomination and just clean it up during the poison phase. So I'm going to do a lot of parrying here to start, just to wait out the incinerate. Tried to hit her block there because it actually won't trigger the incinerate. And she's just not backing up for me and letting me attack her. So made it into the poison phase. Now we're going to lay on the hits. I'm just not even going to worry about the Feats of Indestructible. But yeah, this is pretty much the fight. She does throw some random heavies like she usually does. And I'm really just making sure not to interrupt her in the middle of it. Baiting out SB1s, retaliating SB1. Back in the incinerate phase. Waiting this out. Oop, got hit there. Missed the block. And we're about in the poison phase and down she goes. So, obviously don't take that with Cosmic Ghost Rider in the future. Alright, I was going to leave Annihilus for someone else, but I took the hazard shift path, so technically I'm supposed to have someone who can handle this as well, but got tired of waiting on people, went ahead and took it. It's a bad matchup without the White Magneto pre-fight. One nice thing is that Cosmic Ghost Rider does place an armor break on villains, but apparently this first armor break does not count to breaking the rod. So what you're going to see here is me just blocking a lot of hits against the wall. I figure I'm not going to win this fight. I'm just going to go ahead and see what I can do. I'm just waiting out the poison phase against the wall. And then once we're in the incinerate, kind of start going to town a little bit. Maybe we can end up armor breaking him and getting rid of the rod. The problem with my headspace for this fight is even though I do break the rod, I'm not paying attention to which phase I'm in. So I'm a lot of the time hesitant about going to town once the rod breaks. But we ended up getting the Fury there from SP3 since we are doing some dexing. And that Judgment's out the window. So not really doing an SP2 cycle here. There, I did not realize he was unstoppable. But luckily he didn't retaliate, so went ahead and did it again. He is Incinerate immune while the rod is up. Threw that heavy so that we'd hit 5 Judgments, and now he's armor broken, so that rod's broken or gone. But unfortunately he's in the poison phase here, so rod's back up. Just kind of trying to do what we can as far as holding our own against the wall here. And now we're just triggering unstoppable too much. So found an opening there. Still, now we're back in the poison phase, just trying to wait it out. And boom. So another bad matchup / fight for me. All right, moving on to path 3. Saw this opportunity. There's not a boss place, so this Green Goblin isn't going to have high ground, which is unfortunate. But it did mean that I could go ahead and take this node with Silver Centurion. So benefit here, Silver Centurion is bleed immune while he has his armor up. So, sorry about that. But Green Goblin doesn't gain any armor anyways, so it's not like we're worried about taking any bleed. So it's really just sitting here and taking a good look at the damage over time while boosted, because I don't normally get to boost Silver Centurion and see what his damage is like. Now, what I was hoping to do was take the Apocalypse on EMP before this fight, but the timing didn't work out. Someone else ended up taking it, just because Silver Centurion would have been a good matchup for that, and all you would have to focus on as far as looking out is for the bubble shield. So, but here, Green Goblin, most AIs have been kind of stubborn about some of their specials. I'm a little worried he's just going to throw it right when I back up at some point here. He is just not wanting to throw this, and finally he does. And that time I just blocked instead of dexed. So, lock on is ready. We're going to go ahead and throw it here at the end of this combo. And there's not enough time, because he throws this SP1. There's not enough time to get that burst damage from ending combos with the medium now that we were locked on. So, don't really get to see much there. Moving on, though, to this Sasquatch here. I was debating taking it with Silver Centurion since he does have slow on his heavy and slow on his SP3. But I figured let's go ahead and just mess around with Immortal Abomination. Either one here can really take this fight. It's just being smart about playing Sasquatch. There's nothing special about the node that I have to worry about since it's best defense and Sasquatch doesn't evade or auto block. So Immortal Abomination is a newer rank up for me as well, so kind of trying to get a feel for what the best rotation is with him. Eventually I find it where I should be throwing SP2s and just letting the poison damage build up instead of constantly throwing SP1, because the strength of that Petrify with the SP1 actually isn't that great. But you really want to hit Acid Burn, and that's either building up, or that's from building up all the poisons as quickly as possible, and then converting it to an Acid Burn. So you want the Toxic Aura up. And that can either be done from building a bunch of poisons on yourself from SP2, or from just having it up after SP3. And here I went with SP2. So down he went. Not a difficult fight at all. All right, and this next one, figured I could take this Infinity War Ironman. Went ahead and went with Immortal Abomination as well, just because normally this would be a high ground champ, and Silver Centurion would definitely speed up the high ground and have no way of dealing with it. So always seems that way. I tried to block the second combo and it didn't work out. But he always builds so many armor ups at the start, and then we'll go almost the entire fight without it until the last 15%. Anyways, that was unfortunate. Should have been paying attention. Thought I'd go for an SP3 here and see how quickly we could acid burn. And now we go ahead and throw it. We're not worried about this triggering rage because it's not for each hit. It's just going to be for the whole SP3. So one rage buff isn't the end of the world. All right, so he's acid burned and did not do a crazy amount. So this is where I decide, hey, let's go ahead and just get Toxic Aura up through SP2 and see if we could acid burn him a lot faster through that. So again, I don't play Immortal Abomination much, but it's always good to have a champion that causes poison. And my only option at the moment in my full roster is Man-Thing, and I don't have Diablo, so there's some others like Mysterio and now Toad. Anyways, got the SP2, didn't trigger rage, that's good. Getting acid burn there every so often, so this is going a lot quicker now. Got to another SP2, so we've got a second Toxic Aura up. So now we should be placing poisons faster. There's another acid burn, he's getting close here, so now I'm just going to stick to heavy attacks. Both our auras are gone, so with it being the last 15%, I think I'm a little hesitant about throwing SP2, especially since it'll trigger a bunch of armor ups. So I'm just parry heavying here and retaliating heavies with heavies. That's what it was. So throwing SP2 on purpose into the block so that we can start building up more poisons and hopefully acid burn them. But most likely not, just end it with a heavy rate here. So not a crazy war for me. They didn't place much and I was messing around with champs. I need to practice a little bit more, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead and hit subscribe and I will catch you guys at the next one.